How to get started with critical chain project management. Critical chain is probably one of the major contributions to project management of the past 20 years. There are many success stories. There are many organizations implementing critical chain and improving their performance tremendously. So I totally understand why you want to know more about critical chain and learn how to get started with it. It is just fascinating. My name is Jan van, and in this video you learn how to build up your project pipeline to max utilizing the capacity of your organization. You learn how to stagger projects. Well, staggering is actually a way to build a wall, nicely and compact, with the bricks overlay a little bit. For me, however, staggering is the most important tool from the critical chain project management toolbox, because it fixes the cause of most project problems all at once. You gotta know that most of the problems in project organizations can be traced back by people who don't perform well, because they have more work to do than they can complete. Well, if you knew that your people in your project won't have the time to do all their work, then you know for sure that you will run into lots of problems. Critical chain and staggering helps to max utilizing the capacity of your organization by simply giving the people the time to complete their work, to do their work. And I'm sure that that is exactly what you want to have in your projects also. Well, let me first show you our very small organization we're going to use in this training session. It's an organization of just 4 people. It is Amanda, Jennifer, Michael and Christopher. And in this video we will release just 2 projects in our project pipeline. And you will notice that even for this very small organization, it's getting pretty complex already. So you can imagine the challenge people have without links when they need to give a reliable commitment to their clients about when the project will be ready. But trust me, with links and the 10 simple steps you're gonna learn in this video, it's gonna be very simple. Let's see how that works out in links. Let's look at the skills of our team in the skills configuration. With just 4 people, 3 different skills. Amanda has skill 1. Jennifer has skill 2. Then we have Michael and Christopher, and both are skill 3. The projects looks very much the same. Normally task 1 and 4 just takes 1 day to complete. Sometimes it takes 2 days to complete. So that means that Jennifer gets the highest workload. And because she's needed in each project, she's the bottleneck. She's what we call the constraint. And this is what theory of constraint teaches us about constraints. If Jennifer doesn't have the time to handle more projects, the whole organization can't do more projects. Even if Amanda, Michael or Christopher would have plenty of time to do more projects, the organization can't, because Jennifer is not available. So to maximize the productivity of the organization, you have to maximize the productivity of the constraint. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. In this training, we want to limit the automation of resource leveling, so you better can see how it works. So that means that we won't resolve conflicts when the same person is needed in 2 projects at the same moment. In a real life situation, you would select for skill number 2, resolve conflicts across all projects, because Jennifer is the constraint in our organization. Our portfolio or project pipeline contains 10 projects, 4 of them have been released already, and they give a certain workload. And the workload is already nicely balanced, because earlier projects were released in exactly the same way as you're going to learn right now. You're going to learn how to stagger the work in the bottleneck, so the work for Jennifer is offered to her so that she doesn't need to wait and she won't get everything at once. Step number 1. Open project number 5. That is easy. Step number 2. Start the release wizard. Step number 3. Inspect the project Gantt chart in the project window. in this training they are on top of each other on my small laptop screen. Normally I use two screens. Witness the gray bars. They identify the earliest moment when our team is available. In the scheduling tab, you see the proposed start date, the proposed end date, and the dates that you see come from the project properties. When you schedule the project as soon as possible, then you have the option to propose a new start date. When you schedule the project just in time, as late as possible, you have the option to propose a new delivery date. And I find scheduling just in time works easiest in combination with the release wizard, because the release wizard helps you to determine the earliest delivery date, and that matches perfectly with just in time scheduling. Step number 4, check the resource load, because there is overload. Over the selected period, that is in between the blue zones, skill number 1 has 133% of workload, skill number 2 150%, and skill number 3 92%. So skill number 2, Jennifer, has the highest workload. Well, that is actually what we expected. And that is what we're gonna fix. If we fix it for Jennifer, then we will fix it for all the resources. The red bars are the workload generated by the selected project in the pipeline tab. So you easily can figure out what is causing the workload. Step number 5, reschedule with staggering applied. In the staggering tab, tick the constraint. We know that is skill number 2, Jennifer, she is our constraint, and reschedule the project by pressing F3. In the resource tab, you can see that the overload is gone now because the project is moved to a moment that Jennifer is available. Now you see that the task with staggering applied gets a green border in the Gantt chart. And the staggering drives the end date of the project. Step number 6, determine the earliest delivery date. And that is easy, you easily can read it from the Gantt chart. The earliest delivery date is Monday the 20th. Step number 7, enter the earliest delivery date in the proposed end date and reschedule again. Now we see that the project is scheduled to the finish date of Monday 20th. You also see that the start date is as late as possible and that the critical chain remains closed. Step number 8, confirm and release the project. Step number 9, we do some final checking. Check the resource load to see everything went okay, and we validate the average workload, so we still have a good understanding of where the constraint in our organization is. Now the final step, step number 10. Now you can confirm the project to your customer. Go back to your client, and now you can safely make your commitment and your promise, because now you know you've got the people to do the work. We're now coming to an end of this video in which you learned how to stagger projects. And at last there are a few considerations I'd like to share with you. Before you start with critical chain project management and with staggering, you must have adequate plans available and links. And an adequate plan is a plan that results in completing the project when you follow it. Otherwise it isn't adequate. And it tells you when people are needed. And it also tells your people what is expected from them and what they can expect from others, so they can collaborate with each other. This is what you must do right now. Download Link's TameFlow for a free trial and try to redo the exercise in this training video. Get started today. If you watch this video on YouTube, then check our website for more free downloads and join our membership community for free. Stay informed. See you next time.